What's happening, guys? My name is Anthony, and in today's video you're going to be getting another track guide for Austria. So if this video does help you out, make sure to come back and let me know exactly how much time you were able to shave off thanks to this track guide. Let's get straight into the track guide itself, and then afterwards we'll get into the hot lap towards the end of the video so that you could see how a lap at Austria would look in real time. Okay, so once you guys watch the hot lap in today's video, you'll probably see that it's not the best lap. Definitely I can go a lot quicker than that. However, I do hope that it's able to show you in real time the small little details that I'm going to be telling you right now. So coming up to the final corner, I like to use the grey patch that you see on the left hand side as my braking point. Once I get to the grey patch that's coming up to us right now, that's when I start to brake. I'll show you a little bit more about that in a second, but you want to keep the car as wide as possible pretty much for every corner on this track. You want to use all of the track going in, you want to swing the car in, and then you want to use all the track on the exit. That's just how it is on Austria. So yeah, as you're coming up to this grey patch right here, you want to brake. Obviously you're going downhill, so you might want to brake just slightly earlier than you think you would, and just try and carry as much speed into the entry and the exit as possible. You're going to shift down into 5th gear, try and miss this yellow sausage curb here, and then just go as wide as possible. Get your foot on the throttle so that you can carry as much speed through. Open up the DRS, and then the lap of Austria has now officially started. So coming up to the first corner, you're going to be in 8th gear. I've gone a little bit too deep here. Let me just quickly reverse back. But yeah, you're going to be in 8th gear, and obviously you want to use as much of the track as you possibly can. And then just after the 100-meter board, that's when I start to brake in qualifying and in time trial. In the race, once again, if you want to minimize the lockups, if you want to minimize the tire wear and stuff like that, you'll probably brake at the 100-meter board. Once again, using all the track possible as far as you can go. Down into 4th gear, or you can use 5th gear, depends on you. This year's first corner is very difficult, even more difficult than it was last year in my opinion, especially because of the way that the curbs work on this game, but you still want to take as much of the curb as you possibly can. And then just try and carry the speed through, use as much of the track as needed in order to do that. Open up DRS as soon as you can, and then turn 2 is pretty much not even a corner. You just want to take the shortest line possible to turn 3. And speaking of turn 3, as you come up to it, 8th gear, as I've said before, a very reoccurring theme here. You want to use all the track that you possibly can. And then once again in the race, you're probably going to be braking at the 100-meter board exactly. And then as the race goes on, you can brake a little bit later as the fuel in the car comes down, the car becomes lighter. But for quali and for time trial, you're going to be braking just after the 100-meter board, braking a complete straight line to maximize your stopping ability. In this game, for me, I use 3rd gear, but if your setup is not as aggressive, then you're obviously going to want to use a lower gear, so either 2nd or potentially even 1st. And then just miss this yellow sausage curb just right over the red and white curbing there, and then just try and get your foot on the throttle as soon as you can. You might need to short shift in order to not spin the car, because it's very difficult. Turn 3's traction zone. A lot of people, including myself, get caught out by it all the time. And then for turn 4, going to be in 8th gear. Once again, just like the last corner, it is a downhill braking zone, so you want to brake a little bit sooner than you think you would, just because it is downhill. So I usually brake at the 100-meter board. I'm pretty sure that there are people who brake just after the 100-meter board. Me personally, I just find it easier to brake at the 100-meter board. And then again, brake in a straight line. You definitely want to minimize the amount of turning you're doing at this one, because it's downhill. It's a lot easier to lock up the tires, so make sure you're in a straight line. Down into 3rd gear, and then ride over this grey sort of part of the curbing here, because this will help rotate the car and give you the most time possible. You don't actually want to use the outside curbing for turn 4, because you will lose time. So stay on the tarmac and then just flick the car back on the inside here so that you're using the minimum amount of road possible to the next corner. And then for turn 5, you're going to be using all the track possible. Just after the 50-meter board in 6th gear, you want to just shift down into 5th gear with the light braking, and then just flick the car in and carry as much speed as possible. In the race, especially towards the beginning, you might want to use 4th gear just because of the amount of fuel that the car has. It's a little bit heavier. You might get a little bit more understeer, so you might need to use 4th just to be able to get the more rotation in. But as the race goes on, you could probably just carry it in 5th. And then for this next corner, once again, very similar to the previous corner, you want to be in 6th just after this curbing that I'm on right now ends. So around about here, you want a light braking, more heavier than the previous corner, but still quite light. And then in 5th gear, just carry the speed. Do not touch the inside curbing here. You will spin, and it will just cause a lot of issues for you. just try and carry as much speed as possible. Use all the track on exit to carry as much speed as possible, and then just stay on the tarmac until the next corner. Then speaking of the next corner, going to be in 8th gear. Using all the track possible is a pretty difficult, because as you can see the car's sort of leaning towards the right there, so it's pretty difficult, but you'll be able to pick it up as time goes on. Just before the 50-meter board, you want to break down, light braking once again into 7th. You want to carry as much speed as you possibly can in 7th gear, riding over the grey parts of this curbing here. It's a lot easier to invalidate your laps and get warnings at this corner in this year's game than it was in last year's game, so you have to be a little bit more careful than you was in the previous game. And then just carry all the speed that you possibly can in 7th gear. Once again, run wide just like you did at the start of your lap, and then just as you're coming up to the grey patch, once again you want to brake in a straight line as it's downhill, and then shift down into 5th gear, ride over the curb, but only the red and white part, don't ride the sausage curb, and then get the best exit that you can. And that is a lap of Austria. So as I said, the hot lap itself isn't necessarily the best, but I hope that it was able to show you the small little details that I've told you in this track guide here. So let's get to the hot lap and then we'll finish off the video. So I hope that that track guide and the hot lap was able to help you. I know that the hot lap itself wasn't exactly the best that I could do. However, I hope it was good enough to just show you how you would take the lap around Austria. Also, make sure to go down to the pinned comments as well if you want to get access to the baseline spreadsheets. At the moment, it is just time trial setups, as I've said previously. However, as the year goes on and I've learned more, I will keep you guys updated when it comes to this spreadsheet, and all the baselines will be changed. That will help hopefully be more race oriented instead of time trial. However, that's going to be it for this track guide. If you did enjoy it, if you were able to learn from it, be sure to smash the like button if you want to see more track guides like this. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see my team content and league racing content as well. Make sure to also subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever those videos go live, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.